Hey, it's Mr. Surface. I'm going to be taking you through today's day 9 feedback loop for today's synchronous lesson due before 10:15 a.m. and then section 2, which is preferably due before 3:30. This form looks almost exactly the same, except for it's been simplified even more, and the pictures are more beautiful and illustrative. That means illustrating what you should do, kind of drawing for you precisely what ought to be done. So let's go through it. Let's do it. All right. First, you put your name. My first name. Oh, let's do the one where it looks like what you're doing. So you'll come to your first name, Mr. Last name, Surface. Which parts of the social standard below could you use some help with unpacking? Check all that apply. Participate in academic discussion using my voice or the chat function. While I know what participate means, I don't remember what academic means. Discussion, I know what that means. Voice, I know what that is. Chat function, I don't. So I might just click those. Now, this looks slightly different, but it's just a simplified version of last week. If you look on the right, you'll see day's objective. Day 9. I will be able to use a summary to determine the theme, and then success criteria at the bottom to kind of fill that in for you even more. You'll be able to retell the story, and you'll be able to tell the difference between important and unimportant details. Okay, so those are some of the ways you'll know that you're good at summarizing, and then connecting it to theme is kind of that big goal for us. Okay, so determine, still not sure exactly what that means. Theme, even after all last week, I need more help with it. Retail, I know what that means. Important, I know what that means. Unimportant, I know what that means. But sometimes I have trouble when I read stories telling what's important or unimportant. So I'm going to click that. And details, I know what those are. Here's a video of how to use Vocaroo. If you haven't watched it yet, it's not exciting, but it is explanatory. So make sure you use it if you're confused. So look at this girl here. This is a student. This is y'all, right? Think of you like, oh, I'm studying here. All right, I'm looking at my book on my computer. Okay, I'm looking over there. Right. In between the two things, you are trying to figure out, all right, where do you stand regarding the day's objective? So all right, I got to put this objective in my own words. So I'm going to use this sentence starter. I should be able to read something and then today's Iwabat over here where the mouse is, all right, where I was, I will be able to use a summary to determine the theme. Okay, well, let me go to Vocaroo and try and record that real quick. And you can see the little Vocaroo on the computer there and the link copying thing, all right? Badap, then it loads. Okay. Then what I like to do, since I don't have it memorized, is I click it, I go back to the form, and I use this sentence starter. I should be able to read something and be able to use a summary. I think that's like when you can like tell the story, but like not the whole story word for word, I think. And to determine a theme. Well, determine means like I think like maybe decide or figure out, and the theme is maybe the message or the lesson. I think that's what it is. That's where I am with today's Iwabat for now. All right, today's objective. And then I press stop, and then I click save and share. And then it produces this little rectangle down here, and I click on this little block here, and it will copy the link for me. And then I go right back to the form, and down here I go control, I hold the control button underneath shift to the left of the alt button, and I click the letter V as in very good. Boom. It's pasted. I'm done. While not having read the story, this future test question can tell you a lot about how to think about today's learning objective for future thinking. Check all of the words or phrases that seem important or relevant. Well, let's see. Question 3. In Two Kinds, what does the daughter realize when she becomes angry at her reflection in the mirror? A, if she does not become a prodigy, she will not succeed at anything. B, if she becomes a prodigy, she will be a sad, unpleasant girl. C, she has the power to decide for herself who she will be. And D, she can be the prodigy her mother wants her to be. Well, when characters realize something, that usually connects to some big plot points, right? Usually, as all stories are waiting for characters to realize something or the other. Becomes angry, I don't know. Reflection, yes. The mirror scene seemed important. Not becoming a prodigy seemed important. Having power to make her own decisions seemed important, and to decide what she wants to be. So all of that seemed important to me, and I should be like alerted to those while I'm thinking and reading about the story today. All right, let's take a look. This kind of takes you through how to annotate Kami, and then you've got Kami right here with the little menu on the side like you've been doing all last week. I started that right around 11, and I finished it right at 11:30 in time for class, okay? Then class went through, all right? So this is now in the future. Here we are in the future. Here we are in the future after class. Mr. Surface taught it. It was a blast. And now I'm finishing my Google form. Because it's after class and I hope I learned something. Hey, right? It is after class. This is after class. This is section 2 and it's after class. Class is over. All right. Now, we want to try and get this done before 3:30. If we need an explanation of how to use Vocaroo, there it is right there. All right, here's the same thing from earlier, but now class is over. Class is over now at this part of the video, right? So, oh, 1 second, my kids are too loud. All right, so the objective was I'll be able to use summary to determine the theme. I'll be able to retell the story. That's how I'll know I'll be good at it, and I'll be able to tell the difference between important and unimportant details. All right, so let's do this again. I click on Vocaroo. Now that class is over, I click on Vocaroo. It shows up with this again. I click this, I go back to the Iwabat, and I say I should be able to read something and tell someone else the important details from that story, and then I can decide what the theme is based on that summary, and the summary will match the theme. Then I go back here, I click stop, save and share. I click those double squares. I go back to the form. I go down here and I go Control V. All right, feedback survey part 1. Your instructor will use this feedback to help you and your class better master today's learning objective. Rate your understanding of today's objective on a scale below. Well, I'll be able to use a summary to determine theme. Was I able to retell a story? Was I able to tell the difference between important and unimportant details? Yup. For this story, basically, I don't know if I can do it for a more difficult story, so I'm not quite a 5 out of 5, but 4, I'm good to gravy. Any other things that I need to know from class? Yes. Could you remind me how to easily fast forward and rewind YouTube videos? Do I use the arrows? Oh, 1 second. Okay. Toddler issues solved. All right. Can you, and how do I, is that when I use the arrows at the bottom and those go forward like in 5-second increments? Oh, yeah? I think that was, yeah. He'll get back to me. All right. And then I'll click submit. Bop. And I'll be done. Okay? I hope you watched this video carefully. If you didn't, there's no excuse not for getting your work done. You just need to have a little more patience, and you need to make sure that you pour yourself a big glass of hustle, because sometimes you actually have to hustle to learn new things and to improve. And if you don't hustle, well, you're going to fall behind. So you got to hustle. There's no way to get around that. All right. Big glass of hustle. Gotta hustle. If you don't hustle, you're gonna fall behind. Make sure you hustle. That's right, Miles. Hustle.